I have clicked on it. Recording has started, sir.
Okay, perfect. And
I'm
make me
proceeding
co-host,
now.
please. Make me co-host, please.
Uh, how can I? Okay, so okay. So now you are co-host for this meeting. And sir, sir, shall I start with the presentation?
Yes, please. You are audible, visible, and even your
Okay.
presentation is there. Please go ahead.
So we were on learning the key outcomes of the case study, and I was at in the previous session, I was here on the addressing challenges. So, see, challenges are part and parcel of every company, and everyone's life. So they had challenges with respect to battery limitations. So in the case study, we saw that they overcome battery limitations by investing a lot on the research and development stuff, and they have experimented with new materials, and they have increased the charging uh, charging time. Sorry, they have reduced the charging time, as well as their cycles have increased for the batteries. Now they are able to cover more distances within a single charge. So they overcame battery limitations with respect to infrastructure gaps. They collaborated with various uh, local local partners, with government entities. Also they collaborated for setting up of the refueling stations. With respect to the solid state, uh, so they invested a lot on the solid state research as well, uh, for reducing the overall cost for the vehicles. They are very much flexible now, because they have set up the plants as well as their supply chain solutions, or also they are opting at the local level. So now they have moved on to the local level, uh, compared to their previous strategies. So that has helped them in reducing the cost, and reachability, market reachability has also increased. And they have adopted various strategies, as we have discussed, that immediate impact related strategies, which came from HEV vehicles, medium term, long term, future solutions. So they are overcoming their strategies, and they are moving towards efficiency. So I would also like to tell you that Toyota is targeting to reduce CO2 emissions from not only their new cars, but uh, also the vehicles they own. Let me allow some people who are in the lobby. Okay, yes. So, but also they are targeting for reducing the CO2 emissions from the vehicles owned. So they are adopting strategies to reduce the carbon intensity of the liquid fuels as well. They are increasing collaboration with the fuel manufacturers. They are increasing the awareness for carbon neutral fuels, and they are telling to the people as well as the government entities the benefits of the carbon neutral fuels for the society, and for the uh, its benefits at the global level, right? In terms of reducing the GHG emissions. Then next is uh, so the case study showed that 176 million tons of cumulative GHG gas emissions were avoided. Uh, and since they had adopted solar and wind farms on site and off site, so uh, they were able to generate 53.4 megawatt green energy from such uh, plants, and 65,540 tons of CO2 was reduced in the financial year 2022 and 23 through the use of the renewable energy in manufacturing as well. So their future focus is to prioritize EV scale up, And the first BEV model was Baco, which was launched in October 2023. And last year, they had launched two other models of BEV, which were B23C and BZ3X models. So they have plans to come up with next 10 models in next 3 to 4 years. And and they are also spending a lot on infrastructure expansion. They're advancing towards hydrogen FCEVs, fuel cell electric vehicles for the commercial transport systems. So they have a focus on the supply chain as well. And with respect to the market impact, so they are already proven leaders in the sustainability mobility um, field, and they have taken society as well as their business, together. So this what makes them different from the others. So my opinion from the case study is that this uh, model is scalable and it can be adopted by other uh, automobile companies for decarbonization goals. Uh, and they have not only just opted one single strategy, they have opted multiple strategies for reducing their GHG emissions. Uh, and the integration of manufacturing decarbonization, 100% of renewables they have gone in Europe, and supply chain optimization they have done, massive R&D investment they have done. So this shows that they have a systematic thinking approach, and which is very important. While the targets, I agree that the targets are very ambitious, but they have no choice but to go forward towards meeting those targets, right? We understand that this reducing overall CO2 emissions are very important. So I like that they have set up emission targets, and 90% CO2 reduction. They have decided that they will go uh, by 2050. They'll try to reduce this, and it is commendable. The strategy's real strength also lies in its adaptive flexibilities, using hybrids as a bridge while scaling battery electric vehicles, and they're exploring hydrogen fuel cell technologies as well. Then so uh, they so such strategies avoids actually over reliance on a single technologies. So now we have seen that four technologies are there. They have plans to even go ahead with 3 to 4 other strategies as well. So they are adopting multiple strategies for achieving their net zero targets. And we had seen that 176 million tons of GHG was avoided. So this validates efficacy of their efforts as well. That's all from my side. Thank you for your valuable time and patience listening to me. Thank you. So over to you.
Shall I start or?
Hard it. Amit, go ahead. Go ahead. We will give
Okay,
you the feedback immediately after you complete
sure.
together.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
Good job done, Praveen. But we will be talking to you very soon.
Thank you, sir.
Let me share. Please confirm if the screen is shared.
Well, it is visible.
Yeah, thank you. So, I'm going to present the government part of the case study that we have given. So we will be going with the Denmark green transitions. So here we have a very basic data of the area, 14,000 square feet, and the 0.5 million of the population size. It's reflect that it's a very small country, even though they are leading in this market because of their inclusive program development, strategic approach, and the coordination efforts they have made for this green transition. So we'll see how they have made that changes. So first slide is basically on the Denmark GHG emission overview. The 1990 was the base year for them. They set the target, and the 1990 they have a 78 metric ton CO2 emission were happening. So they have a accounting of that part. So these are majorly coming from the agriculture sector, transport, energy industries. By 2021, they managed to reduce by 42 metric ton of CO2 emissions. And by 2022, they have a climate act. Under that climate act, they have a very ambitious target of a reduction of the 54% by 2025, 70% by 2030, and they will be going net zero by 2045. And the intensity of the carbon reduction is 0.08 kg per CO2 per USD dollar they have from the GDP they are investing, and they are doing that part. The major 72% of their emission reduction is coming from their non-ETS sectors. Basically, emission trading sectors has been set up in Europe long back, and most of the European countries are going with that area. But the Denmark has a good aspect of reduction beyond their non-ETS, beyond their ETS sectors. So this is the historical background of the CO2 emissions that were done by the Denmark. If we can see the post-industrial, they have a very steep increases of CO2 production emissions, and then realize that they are going very high on that part, so that they started from 1990 to implement the GHG reduction protocol. Just point, yeah. So from the 1990, when they started, I will come to that aspect on a different side also. So this is the energy mix, the major part playing by the wind energy, and the most of the covers under the renewable energy. 83% coming from the renewable sectors. Only the 70% of the fossil fuel is coming. If you see this slide, basically from the 1990 to 2030, they have exploited the what are the energy segment they are covering. If we see the major, they have a quite varied range of the fuel segments they are using. From the 1990, they next 5 years they were increasing the emissions because they might be doing some major interventions. So that were they were basically increasing the emissions. Post 1996, major reduction was happening. And if we see the for the coal part, so by 25, 26, they were planning to phase out the complete coal element. And if you see from the 2013-14, majorly, they were entered into the biogas segment. And for the wind or other solar element, they were coming from the 2000 when the major reductions started happening. From the 1996 or 97, the major element were leading the part is the wind, solar, and the biomass. These are the sector-specific informations, which are the sectors using the different technologies for the energy capturing. So this basically depicting the different elements that are being for the transport sector. Majorly oil is being used. For the industry, if we see that it is also depending on the oil and the electricity. But for the buildings, basically the household level, the major element is the heating that are being used because it's a colder region. So heating is a major challenge for them, and they are using the major part of the energy into the heating. So coming to their ambitious target, basically they set the target for their 70% GHG reduction by the 2030 versus the 1990, because the 1990 is the base year. And for 2045 is the net zero. Earlier it was 2050, but in between they moved that target to 2045 because they realized they might achieve before that. And by 25, they will be achieving 110% of their target from the 1990. And they have also aligned their target with the EU. Basically, they have a mandate for the 55% reduction by the 2030. that is the EU Fit for 55 targets. Similarly, they have a sectoral goals also: 100% renewable electricity by 2020, 55% final energy consumption from the renewable 2025, 2030, complete coal phase out by 2030. But they will be achieving this part way early than to that. Similarly, we can see how they are moving and how they are achieving their energy reduction emission gaps. Also, how they are reducing the GHG emission aspects. So by 2030, they have coming with that idea that 70% the target has to be met. So what are the challenges they face during this implementation? The major challenge they face is the integration of the grid part. Basically, in the earlier slides, you see that there are multiple sectors from there. They are getting the electricity, and their integration was the challenge for them. So they are somehow working on that aspect and managed to do the thing, but still they are facing challenge on that aspect. And somewhat they were facing challenge on the permitting because the new technologies are coming, but uh, whether they want to go into that, the permission has to be granted by the government to implement that thing. So permission granting was some challenge they were facing on that aspect. For agriculture emission, basically they introduced already they are in the process of setting up the agriculture emission pricing. Basically, they want to put a carbon tax kind of things on the agriculture sectors. So from the farmer sides, they are facing issue on that. And post-Ukraine war, basically their energy requirement is much more from their sides because Denmark is also importing energy from outside. So because of the Ukraine war, they are facing to get the electricity from outside of the world, from maybe from the hydropower sectors or the other elements. So they are making efforts to get that energy from the outside of the Ukraine, Denmark also. Administratively, basically, somewhat they lack planning capacity because the very local level of the government machinery. You can say at the primary level of the machinery, they are facing challenges for the planning. But from the top management perspective, they are not getting some kind of hindrance on that part. And the major challenge they were facing for the housing in the perspective of the heating, because the heating is the more critical element for them because of being in a colder region. They are also coming with for the political and the social aspect. If you say, they are also coming with the livestock taxation. Basically, it's cover the methane taxation they are coming up. So the farmers is against that taxation. So they are showing resistance on that part. So there are some challenge they are facing also. And for the installation of the wind turbines, uh, for the rural segments, the farmers also, the local community, uh, uh, they have an opinion that their productivity might get reduced. So that's why the wind farms are being imposed to the offshore regions or some other areas. And there's some high expectation from the civil society that's always been there in every country, you can see. The sector specific, basically the transport and agriculture's emission reduction targets are lagging behind because these are the major segments. These are the major segments where the emission is happening. Now coming to the national interventions, what they have did at their own. They introduced the Climate Act. Basically, they have introduced make the aspect of the GHG emission into their act. So it's also within that act, they have a provision that every 5 years they will be revising their targets, the rolling targets they have made mandatory. And the annual climate action plans they set under this for the sector-wise sector specifically. They also introduced the carbon pricing reforms in 2023-2024, covering that more than 70% emissions will be covered under the carbon tax. Basically, this is the covering the fossil part. Whatever the fossils part they are using, that will be covered in the carbon tax. And the energy agreement they made for the different sectors also, especially for the aviation, sectors, they have introduced a new tax with the agreement with the different governments also, so how to phase out that thing. Then comes the power to X strategy. Basically, they want to get a power from the different innovative technologies based on the electrolytes, hydrogen fuel cells, the hydrogen-based transport systems. So they have already started doing that thing, and they have planned for the 2 to 6 gigawatt of the energy coming from that these power to X technologies by the 2030. They also have a tri-party agreement on the green aspect, basically for the livestock methane tax by the 2030. So whatever the feedstock, basically the animal feedstock they are having, so these are emitting the GHG methane gas. So that has to be incorporated, and that is the major area where they might are likely to face a challenge in near future, because after the tax there will be some resistance from the farmer sides. So they are coming with the tri-party agreement with different governments, also with the private agencies also. In the carbon captures and utilization systems they have developed basically for the uh, offshore solar, the wind farms they are setting up the offshore, and also that they are installing the carbon capture for the industrial sector, especially for the power and the industry sectors. They are installing some of the pilot projects that will give them a better result in future. So this is the basically that they have a structures for the government machinery. What are the agency they are supporting, how they are collaborating. So these are the elements of the machinery, government machinery, who are helping them to transition to the green infrastructures. And then comes the local government and the urban interventions that there they have a 98 municipality within the Denmark regions, and 95 out of the 98 municipality is aligned with the Paris Agreement and the Paris Plan they have made. And their collective efforts is to 70% reduction by the 2030. So all the 95 municipality has aligned themselves and make the plan. And based on that plan, they have make effort that their 70% emission will be reduced by the 2030. Then we already discussed the district heating plan, expenditure plan. Basically, the average house is required the maximum of the heating elements. So they are trying to do up 63% of the heating to the household level from the these renewable sources. For the urban mobility, they are mostly more focusing on the cycling infrastructure. So they are setting up the cycling infrastructure so that the motorized vehicles could be minimized on the road, so that it has a setting up the green infrastructure on that part. And the municipal heating plant, basically the gas boilers are being replaced with the renewable systems, and they have targeted that the 2 lakhs homes to be provided such kind of system by the 2028. Then coming to the corporates and the industrial interventions, basically the Green Fuel Denmark, basically they have a mandate for the power to X systems. Under that, they have also make a consortium with the private entity and the government entity, and they make a plan for the 670 megawatt the e-methanol plants that will be supporting their aviation fuels, or the uh, uh, the the ships they are using for the transport of the materials. So they will be using that on those areas, and they are basically planning to phase up to 300 megawatt for the green infrastructure, especially for the shipping and aviations. And offshore wind expansion is basically for the they have made a target 80 gigawatt would be by the 2030, and the 35 gigawatt would be the 2050. And especially they are doing in the North Sea area. The carbon capture project, basically they are doing the pilot for the cement, energy, chemical sectors. In the time, basically they have made a climate partnership with the 14 sector specific private entity companies. And coming to the citizen and the societal engagement, so they have a very good citizen participation approach. They selected 99 citizens randomly from uh, all the 98 municipalities, and these citizens were giving their recommendations, and 73 policy recommendations were presented to the parliament. that was basically on the theme tax labeling, basically tax and the green labeling, transport, food. And these were translated, and some of the recommendations were adopted based on the tax incentives for the consumers, the lowering the tax on the EVs, heat pump subsidies, the basically the training program for the fossil fuel workers. Those might be working in the fossil fuel sectors, but after the phase out of that fossil fuels has to be trained because they need a job security also for the future, just for the just transition segment. So they were retrained for the different sectors so that they can be employed for the upcoming segments of the fuel supply or the energy supply segments. Public awareness campaigns were done by the NGOs and the local workshops being conducted. And the major part is the monitoring, reporting, verification, how they are doing. Basically, annual emission report being submitted to the UNFCCC and the EU, so that climate status and outlook reports were present. Progress reports will always be reviewed by the climate councils. They have set up the climate councils. They every year review their recommendations, and they track their CO2 embedded in their import and exports, and all the data they are making. They make available to the open data system so that the Energy Agency is providing all these reports, and all the tools or the data is available publicly and for the policy use. These are the a comparative study was done basically on for the Denmark and the other EU country, and also the US has been compiled. So if we see here, majorly they are lying with the same target line. Germany and the Denmark are following the same trend. Other EU are lagging behind, but all the European country has started from 1990, but the other part of the world has started after that. So the Europes are majorly leading on those areas for the GHG reductions. Similarly, the policy element were used by the these countries, what we have referred, basically comes from the carbon tax, you can say, and others are majorly focused on the ETS systems. And with that ETS system, they are also incorporating the carbon tax also. And major part, if we see that they have, for the European country especially, they have included their climate act. Basically, they have made mandate in their legislation. Through the legislation or the act, they are moving into that so that it is being implemented easily. Observation on the whole case study, basically, climate action is most durable when institutionalized. Basically, they are binding the legislation, recurring reviews, and independent oversights. So they have made an act. That act has a provision for all these things. So that is binding for their organizations to enable that thing. And also the detailed sectoral strategy enforcement mechanisms. And the most important part that we have seen in the case study that the Denmark has succeeded in building a vertical integration, local, regional, and the national government act in a sync. Basically, they are integrating their peoples also, they're integrating their municipality also, they're integrating the government level and the international level also. And also the plan is based on the people-centered approach. So participatory approach has been made. So Denmark approach is one of the integrated climate governance rooted in the legislation, enabled by the innovations, sustained by the public trust, and expanded through the diplomacy. And the conclusion, the takeaway, basically, when we take up targets, basically this is just like Denmark set the target in 1990 and started building their efforts. So when they set to the legally binding as a model. So if we are integrating such system into the legal binding, that helps in implementation. And also the holistic approach can intervening all the stakeholders at the different level, vertical and horizontal aspect, they have covered both. And the dominance in the segment of the wind, solar, biomass, because these are the prominent sectors from where the renewable energies are coming. The challenges they have faced for the grid capacity integrations, the permitting, some of the sectors they are lagging. So they keep reviewing the systems, and after reviewing, they can strategize and make a revision plans. And the Denmark strategy offers a valuable lesson for global climate actions. And I'm done. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Amit. It was quite a one of the best. Let me be very honest. Yours and your team member presentation
Thank
was
you.
one of the
Thank you.
best.
Yes.
You have covered and touched all the areas in a systematic manner. And it's not only me, I think whoever is looking at this presentation will feel like that. Let's ask others. What do you guys feel? Isn't not he's covered everything, whatever is required to do such kind of presentations? What do you feel, Omkar?
Yes,
That was
yes,
meant anyway.
definitely. Yes, definitely.
Vipsa, what do you think? Because I'm not comparing you with them. Of course, he's a professional. Both of them are working in the field. But what is your opinion?
It was very good. It was in a very different manner. Amit sir's was uh, very detailed and kind of interesting to go through that.
Yeah, and the graphs were ditto on the target. But it was showing that how they have improvised. Right? It
Yes.
was not only telling you the facts and numbers, but also showing that in 80s, 90s they have a challenge when they peaked their power demand and then slowly it has reduced. So the graphs which he has selected has made a difference. Betch, what do you think? Was it not a complete package?
I think I think a round of applause for both of them. They have
Indeed,
solutions also, and how they have they've got intact. Uh, I think yeah, great work. Both of them. Both of them.
yeah, deep work. Indeed, it was a deep work. Bhumika, what do you think?
You said like all others, I also felt it was a very detailed and detailed presentation with the graphs and all things, and also the explanation was very, very detailed so that we can understand all the aspects and even I would like to appreciate Praveen sir also because he has given the scope of the emissions from where the scope and how they had
Scope 1, 2,
targeted
and
the method.
3.
Yes, scope 1 and 2 and 3 has related the whole presentation with the coursework and in a very sophisticated and well mannered way they have presented and actually I took many insights of how to present and how to, present your opinion as well as how to present the facts.
Indeed, indeed. Jackant, what's your thinking on this? What kind of learning we had with their hard work which they have put today?
Amit has covered almost every part, like from the starting to end, and the how well he have presented, and the depth to which he have went was quite good and impressible, because it's from his presentation itself we can understand like he have done himself like research everything and put a time and effort.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Just
Thank you for your all valuable comments.
Praveen, both of you got the feedback, yeah? Other people also, anybody who wants to give a quick feedback, Govardhan, Karthik, yeah, Nitya,
Yeah, it was
your voice is breaking somehow.
detailed, I think.
It was
Hello?
detailed. It was
Yeah, it
detailed.
was detailed. And if there is if there is no time constraint, such presentations are okay. But if there is time constraint, I think
Correct. Very
uh,
good point. I liked Govardhan criticism. That was the only criticism I had with Praveen, and now later with even both team members. I agree with you, Govardhan, 100%. One
yeah,
mark is cut for that purpose. One mark is cut for that purpose, undoubtedly. Yeah, he put a right point. Okay, Karthik, what's your opinion? There has to be some penalty for doing such kind of mistakes, indeed. Yeah, otherwise would we have finished by 1:30 itself and I would have done my meeting very pleasantly. I have to rush here, there, ask every time, right? Because of this Praveen guy. Yeah, good job done. Thank you for helping me there. Okay, next, who wants to give a feedback? Similar feedback I need, Vinith. Not a good one, right? Good one तो सबने दे दिया.
Yeah,
अच्छा किया है भाई.
sir.
भैया कोई उसमें
टाइम
डाउट.
या टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट तो था वो थोड़ा इशू मेनली मतलब प्रेजेंट में थोड़ा सा क्रिस्प कर सकते थे बट आई लाइक द पॉइंट दे हैव मेंशन्ड एंड इन अमित्स वन लाइक ही हैज फोकस्ड ऑन द डिफरेंट of the challenges like economical, then
Correct.
administrative, then the
Divided.
social. That was like the best part of case study. So
It is.
it
Yeah,
was,
the
yeah, yeah,
challenge which he categorized.
yes, yes,
Exactly, this is how we do presentations.
yes, yes. So
Specifically sustainability ones. Good observation, Vinith. Yeah,
nice.
when you divide the problem into different pieces, then the answer will reflect that they have done a real achievement. So,
Yes,
Amit, congratulations, and Vinith, good observation. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
so good stuff. Praveen means what I liked yours was that you started with a background, then you have slowly built on it. You created that where the problems are and how they are addressing it. Yeah. So the sequence was really well done. The problem was with the crispiness. Yeah. It is always a dicey situation how to make detailed but yet crispy. But that's the threshold we have to learning. And for other two groups who has done little in haste, this is the learning you guys should be taking. Nitya, what's your opinion? Yeah, your work was good, but you missed on the detail as well as you were in haste.
Sorry, sir, I'm not at home. Won't be able to turn on the audio
Oh
and
no,
video.
it's all right. It's all right. Just opinion piece. We wanted to hear that if you
So,
learned something.
yes, yes, a lot, sir. Like they both the presentations were very good, and it's a good learning, and it's opportunity for us to actually see that how it should be done. So, thank you so much. And of course, it is showing that it's a lot of disturbances there. But
No,
should
no,
I?
it's a good
Uh,
stuff. Thank you, Nitya.
so,
That's what we want. Everybody to learn from each other. Yeah, so there is no one professor here. Here, 15 professors are there. Yeah, learn from each other. Something Nitya has done well, something Vinith has done well. And now we see comprehensively also it can be done well. Okay, so with that last group, your time starts now, and time is a factor, and the marks is 9. Yeah, marks is 9. 1 mark is definitely going to get cut because there is no other scope to cut. Crispiness is the reason, and that reason I'm cutting this marks. Right? Make sure that everyone, first of all, see how he has presented, and it is not a rocket science. Nowadays, by the way, I will take one 10-minute session, 20-minute session on how to use AI in sustainability. Okay. We are developing a full-fledged program on AI, that how you can use AI in reporting, GRI reporting. We are bringing a GRI program very soon. So once a reporting program, we are adding there one complete module on use of AI in creating your GRI reports or BRSR reports. And we will be giving you guys that 10-20 minutes breather uh, maybe day after tomorrow, once we will complete the carbon accounting and debates will start. Okay, we'll be doing that. So it's not a rocket science. Before presentation, I will tell you what to use, where to use. There are some of them are free. Just use them. You need not to have time even nowadays. Yeah, but not you will not get exactly what Amit has done. Okay, Amit has really put all the data there. No software yet has become so capable that how to present it. That you have to learn from Amit, learn from Praveen, learn from Govardhan also. His presentation was good. One more presentation I don't recall, but it was also good in between. Somebody has done his presentation was good, but his content was little less. That's what I have seen. Whose presentation was that? Anyway, everybody submit your presentations. Okay, let's go to IKEA climate action strategy. Who all are there in this group? Quickly, raise your hand. Start your
Yes, sir.
camera.
I can't
Omkar,
raise.
right?
I don't
Okay.
see.
Omkar, I'm giving you pin. You have to make me okay. I'm okay. I'm just make sure that recording is happening. Is it happening there on your computer?
Yes, 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 it is.
It
Yes,
is happening, right?
yes.
Okay, now I am sending a request to record on my computer. So save when you close the system. I think you were doing it, right? Praveen, you were doing it on your computer or on your cloud. It might be
Yes,
happening. So make
I
save.
was doing it, sir. I will
Yeah,
save it and then
yeah,
I'll
just
share
save
it
it.
with you all.
Because last time we have done that, and unfortunately I lost, and he also lost because he immediately shut down his laptop. So let it
Mhm.
completely record. Yeah. And
Sure,
now
sir.
I'm asking for making me host, and I will record on my computer going forward.
Sir, you are host, so I have given you rights.
Okay, fair, fair. Okay. Now, who are there with you, Omkar? Nobody is here in class today?
Karthik
No,
and
I'm
Karthik is there. Okay. Karthik, raise your hand, virtual hand, so I can put you also in pin.
I'm not able to find it.
Okay, fair, fair. I will. I don't know. I'm not able to give pins now.
I think they have to stop first. Then the screen is shared right now, so I think that would be the problem
Okay,
with
okay.
you.
Now you are there. Go ahead. Just share your screen and move forward.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. So the previous presentations are so great that we have a higher baseline to beat. But anyway, so I'm here to talk about the corporate sectors. Like,
Are you sharing your presentation?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Is it not visible?
It is visible. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll be presenting on corporate sectors action towards the climate strategy. Sorry for the late speak out.
It's okay. It's
So
okay. Take your time.
yeah, so I'm going to talk with respect to IKEA's climate action strategy. So IKEA is it's a multinational company which is operating over 50 countries. So first, I mean, I wanted to show you their motto. Their main motto is to create better everyday life for many people. So their objective, I mean, so this if you see this whole report, it is like their focus is not only their company but also it is towards the people. Um, So yeah, so it's because IKEA it's a large company operating on over 50 countries and having more than like 440 outlets. And so they are mostly towards customer servicing. So their main focus on the report was on scope 3 emission, and apart from their scope 1 and scope 2, obviously. So they had a pledge. They took a pledge on climate control in 2018. Their pledge was to commit to 2000. I mean, climate positive by 2030. So this pledge was, I mean, they were aiming to reduce greenhouse gas emission beyond the emission from the entire value chain. So the way they focused, I mean, their focus was on by adopting renewable energy, sustainable sourcing, and circular economy. So, so the major the strategies they have used for achieving this, I mean, reduction in greenhouse gas emission is through renewable energy integration. So uh, they have integrated around 575 turbines, 21 solar parks as a source of renewable energy. Apart from that, they have also had around 900 thousand solar panels installed all over their retail stores and their warehouses. So this contributed around 80% powered by renewable energies, and they've also invested financially around like 3 billion euros in 2009. So, um, so the other key aspect that they were focusing in order to reduce greenhouse gas emission is through sustainable sourcing. So it's a furniture-based company which mainly relies on wood and cotton, apart from the packaging. So the main focus was on uh, this on the sources of this capital goods, the wood. So they were getting 98 percentage. The wood they have collected is with the FSC certified, forest stewardship certified, and the others they were trying. They were, I mean, looking to recycle the wood, and so they've also. I mean, the other source, the other capital good, the cotton, which was also obtained through sustainable sources, like on- like the what BCI, better cotton initiatives. So and also so this was only this was the focus on the capital goods. Apart from this, they were they are to they have also wanted to control the greenhouse gas emission during the during the like transport of the products to the customers by transitioning towards recyclable packaging and avoiding one-time single-use plastics. So, so the third strategy they have used towards achieving this greenhouse gas emission, to reduce greenhouse gas emission, is through circular economy. So they have welcomed they have initiated this take back program where they have asked. They provide provision for the customers to return and resell their used furnitures. So this way they are able to reduce around 99% waste, 95% waste recovery. Yeah. So the strategies, as I mentioned, they invested in renewable energy and circular solutions. So they've also partnered with FSC and BECI, like forest stewardship certificates and better cotton initiatives for sustainable sourcing of their capital goods, and collaborate with their suppliers uh, by phasing out the plastic and using recyclable materials for the transport of the product. So apart from their personal, company's growth, they've also wanted to encourage customers towards this sustainable energy and renewable sources by providing solar solutions for the customers. And as well as the take back program also enables them in being responsible. So one more thing that I wanted to add through the circular practices was their modular design in their furnitures. So if they were making like a whole furniture as a single product, and if there is some defects, it will be either the whole product will go to waste. But their modular design makes it possible that repair make it possible that you can repair only certain aspects of the uh, furniture, and it is also uh, there is also a possibility that those defective pieces could be recycled. The waste generated is limited, so the necessity to recycle is also limited in such cases. And they've also set they have a clear goal, like 2030 was their goal on reaching the global carbon positive goal, but they've also have been tracking their progress through by doing annual sustainability reports. So apart from their contribution, like they were focused on solars and wind energies as the renewable sources, and by providing these solar cells towards the customers as well as in their warehouses and retail stores, they are able to promote use of renewable resources even in their supply chains. However, during the delivery, the use of fossil fuels is little difficult to control, and they are slowly moving towards electrified vehicles. And so they have shown promises in circular economic practices, but it is all only in pilot scale studies. Complexing it is a little more financially taxing, as well as it has other challenges. So far they have achieved around 80%. They are able to cut down their dependence on non-renewable energy and able to power by their own resource facilities by around 80%. So they have also the sustainable products that they were able to sell by the year 2023 through the recycled products. They were able to produce around 25% of the profits. So which shows that recycling and this customer initiative was really which it is really encouraging, and it involves the customers as well. Since I mean, so as a major brand, they are able to achieve this, even though they are operating in several countries, facing several like geographies, economical and other aspects, but they are able to achieve it, which is really inspirational for other mega companies as well. So, with that, we would like to tell you about our opinions and opinions, positives and negatives. So, the report gives shows it gives a holistic approach on, their way of tackling this greenhouse gas emission. They were able to so they have strategized use of renewable energy energy, as well as energy for their own consumption. And apart from that, they were able to also focus on the capital goods by sourcing it from green resources. And also they were focused on the distribution system, trying. So it's like the capital goods they receive is also focused, their internal operations is also focused, and their end of the product that they sell out is also focused. So it's an overall approach towards greenhouse. Towards greenhouse reduction in the greenhouse gas emission by the company. So, as a company, as a corporate sector, they could have they could have strictly focused only on their uh, emissions, but their initiative towards providing affordable solutions towards solar solutions for the customers uh, actually speaks for their motive, that is towards a better life for uh, everyone in the world. So with that, I would like to conclude the first presentation.
Thank you, Karthik. Good job done. Let's listen from Omkar first.
Yes, so just a few opinions regarding, I would like to add to Karthik in this presentation. So, what was the impact of doing all this that IKEA has done? So, they have achieved about 22% of climate footprint reductions, uh, which amounts to around 6.9 million tons of CO2 equivalent, and 50% reduction in their GHG reduction for value chains compared to their FY16 baseline. Also, they have achieved a 10% GHG reduction in the value chains despite the business growth, but still reducing GHG emissions in the value chain remains a challenge, considering their vast businesses over how many countries? Over 50 countries and about 445 stores, reaching to the last mile without emissions still remains a challenge. Another point regarding IKEA's, they could significantly reduce the emissions if uh, their furniture or goods are made to last instead of just recycling or considering the circular approach. Uh, in my opinion, that could significantly reduce the emissions even in the recycling process as well. But overall, IKEA has taken significant steps in climate action, and I think they are also paving the path for their peers to follow. And but 2030 task for them to achieve a net zero and climate positive seems a bit difficult considering the overall supply chain and other aspects.
So can I start the other present?
Yes, Omkar, go ahead.
Uh,
So Karthik will only be presenting the next.
yeah, so I have previously talked about the corporate sectors. I mean, strategies towards greenhouse gas and mitigating greenhouse gas emission. So now I'll be also presenting on how a nation like Costa Rica approached this greenhouse gas mitigation strategy. Uh, so by context, I mean, Costa Rica is is a country surrounded by water bodies, and so their primary focus, I mean, they're okay. As a country, it also aims in uh, like it is committed to carbon sustainable solutions. Uh, so always, um, so I mean, Costa Rica is a country which is like it's surrounded by more water bodies, and it is also having a lot of rivers. So the primary source of energy by nature is like hydropower, mainly from the river bodies, and apart from the high currents. Uh, so so they've already have around 99 percentage uh, electricity from renewable energy. So which is mainly hydropowered. Apart from, they also have like wind plants, and uh, I mean, so hydropower and wind sources are the major renewable sources as of currently, and they're focusing some transition towards geothermal and solar power, just for diversification of their renewable energy sources. So the main focus, how they have, I mean, the way they focused in order to achieve this greenhouse gas emission is they're focusing on the um, sustain supply. Yeah, so this by diversification of the renewable sources and by converting the forest covers, like around 50% of the total area is being converted into forest reserves, and focusing on ecotourism for the growth of the country's economy. So that is so they have shown around 8% GDP growth in tourism, as well as providing around 2,000 to 200,000 jobs. Uh, so this they were able to achieve because of by the country's goal of national decarbonization plan, with uh, which also provides economical support to those to the landowners for I mean for maintaining, like, for promoting green solutions, like maintaining the biodiversity. So apart from the government plans, they've also collaborated with private bodies and NGOs, private and international NGOs, where they have enabled technology transfer, um, and also welcome more funding for the uh, for the upscaling of their renewable energy capacities, like wind and geothermal projects. So the main strategy is summarized here again. So the country mainly has its own hydro and wind power, but as I will mention in the later slide, because of there is a necessity for diversification, and they have moved towards geothermal anyway. Overall, the country is a renewable energy dependent country. So unlike other countries, which mainly uses coal for their energy source, um, the baseline for the country is already in comparatively better than other countries towards this net zero carbon emission. However, so by reforestation and ecotourism, they also increase. I mean, they enable their achievement of achievement towards greenhouse gas, I mean, reduction in the greenhouse gas emission through reforestation and ecotourism. Uh, I was saying like the country is dependent on hydropower, but I mean due to this climate change and global warming, there is always a risk of uh, risk for countries which are dependent on natural resources. Example will be Costa Rica. So even though it has high hydropower sources, because of this global warming effects, which may not be the responsibility of just the Costa Rica, but by the whole globe. So which will also affect their, power sources, and so they are forced towards diversification of their energy sources, and hence they are looking for other opportunities like geothermal and solar powers. Uh, so even though there are a lot of renewable sources, it is, the limitation that, the second limitation is the grid. Uh, to for a high, storage, to maximize the storage, there is a need for development of the grid, and so it requires funding and new technologies, which they are trying to reach through uh, global partnerships and yeah, through partnerships with other private and other governmental organizations. So they're also incentivizing the local body by promoting electric vehicles, providing monetary subsidiaries for electric vehicle adaptation, as well as for constructing uh, charging stations. Anyway, there is still difficulty in funding gaps, which needs to be addressed, and so they're uh, it's a gap they're working towards. Uh, so history wise, I wanted to mention that Costa Rica around 1990s itself is using renewable sources. So comparative to other countries which are transitioning towards renewable sources, this country has a lot of history and um like the way the country is still able to I mean, work towards greenhouse gas, sustainable goals is really commendable because as years pass on, there is always there is always like political and other factors which affects, but still the nation is like focusing on sustainability as their primary target. So since they are focused on renewable sources, they have already, it has given enough economic benefits to the country. They are able to save around 300 million euros per year just because of their not heavy dependence on fossil fuels. Um, so the main the resource of uh, income for the country, which is provided through the sustainable ecotourism sector, which provides around 200,000 jobs, as I mentioned before, which is also providing funding for. So the fund that they get from this sector is also reinvested into uh, like uh, uh, like forest preservations and other sustainable activities. So the way the report gives a like a it's a I mean it's not a corporate sector. It's a national wise um, report which includes sectors of several areas like energy, tourism, transportation, policies, and other yeah. So it is like it involves the macroeconomy of a nation, and overall for the nation to be focused towards sustainability is really commendable, and it requires like high standards in I mean it is because of the standard of the people in the country. Um Thinking about it, if we can, I mean, if even though it is it's like a target for other, I mean, Costa Rica is like a leader for the other countries towards this sustainable goals. But from Indian perspective, it is not easy I mean, to follow Costa Rica because sustainability as a goal has not been in the minds of all individuals. It's not just because of uh, it's not because of the awareness. It's also because of the economic lifestyle uh, of the people. So as an individual, yeah, we work towards um, the in personal development than focus on the nation's development. So I don't yeah, that's my personal opinion. Apart from that, uh, yeah, India as a nation is a large population compared to Costa Rica with very diverse opinions, and so unifying them on a single aspect like sustainability is more challenging than a smaller nation like Costa Rica. Yeah, that's my opinion on this case. Thank you.
Omkar, your concluding piece.
So, Karthik has already spoken about all the points that were supposed to be made in this presentation. But according to my opinion, Costa Rica is like that ideal country that not every country can follow, but at least take an inspiration, like how they are banking on their natural resources for electricity and other sources that play a major part in emissions. They use their huge river network for hydropower and geothermal, like the volcanoes and other sources for geothermal energy, and also wind power. But like Karthik said, it is difficult to adopt, follow exactly what Costa Rica is doing in India. I have a little biased opinion about it. Like, as per my observation, we India as a country uh, does follow a sustainable path, and we used to, but it isn't yet very organized, or it wasn't organized earlier as well. It was very scattered, and we didn't have the term sustainability earlier, and that never got highlighted. Now that the Western nations have highlighted this term and bringing in regulations, if you look at the history in India, we will find evidences of uh, India as a country being more sustainable. But mm, yeah.
Okay, good job done, Omkar, and good that you have changed the stance of your previous speaker. If you could have maintained India is not that country which will not adopt, I totally differ to that. Karthik, it's your opinion, and I do respect it, whatever you have said, comparing India versus Costa Rica. Uh, but what we are forgetting here is India also worship. It's a sect agnostic, religion agnostic. We worship nature, and we have that in our DNA. We are not always splurging in consumerism. And secondly, of course, economic dynamics is also different. But Costa Rica is not that. I don't know what is their per capita income. Can somebody quickly check? What is their per capita income? It's a resource advantage is quite a Latin American a country, and it has a very good tourism income.
Sir, average salary is around $1,008 per month.
$1,000, yeah.
$1,000 a month.
So one third is what India is in, isn't it? If you
Yes, sir.
compare India versus Costa Rica. So economics wise, we are one third, and hence, even though we take a effort of that scale, which is one third of what Costa Rica is doing, we'll be much better off. The problem is what you said, which I agree with, Karthik, is that we have a very diverse opinion. Every 10 kilometers, every second person will have a diverse opinion, right? In a stadium sitting, supporting only two teams, still, if you will ask him, forget about the team which is playing, tell me about other team, he will say, I don't like that. Right? The straight answer. There are only two teams which are playing, and I am supporting one, I am against of another. But I cannot make a point on the other one. So I agree with you on the opinion part, but as a culture part, little bit I disagree. Now for that I can't cut your marks, so that is obvious. You guys, both of you, again, people, have you seen their presentation? Yeah, it was better than the few of you, not as good as, of course, the last two, but it has all the ingredients which was required. It looked that they have put little effort on it. They have collected data and they had opinion. What mark is getting cut is for Omkar not speaking. Omkar came as just a opinion maker, and then he didn't take up any part of both the presentation. Why was the case there? Why that
No,
happened?
actually, Karthik, uh, uh, Karthik wanted to also present these case studies, and we were supposed to talk on the opinions, but Debakarji had to leave midway.
Oh, okay,
So
okay. Dibakar ji was there who could not attend. Got it, got it, got it. Okay, fair. That's what I was confused with. And that is why he was struggling. In the second presentation, he was totally here and there. First
yeah,
presentation he's pulled over, and second one, and I thought you are the culprit because you are not speaking, so he is forced to speak both the presentations.
to
So
discuss.
no problem. I gave a benefit of doubt that if Dibakaji would have been there, he would have done justice to it. But still, confidence level of Karthik need to go up. Karthik, this is your practice ground. Practice as many presentation, as many debates you can. Okay, don't leave a single chance to speak more and more. You know the story of a Greek, Roman orator, right? When he started his journey, he knew that without he speaking in this, what they call the senators, right? They used to have senators. It's a very old adage which I'm talking about. What he did, he used to put stones in his mouth and used to shout on the sea to get the practice done. So I'm not recommending you that. That was the olden era. There is no stone even available on beaches now. What I'm recommending you is practice. Yeah, you have a good thought process. Your documents were good. The outcome was really good, but you need to speak up. In sustainability, if you will not fight up, you will not get the result. Okay, and it's nothing to do with personality. Only in this place you have to speak, which is a place of sustainability. Rest of the place you can be silent in your life. Nobody cares. है कि नहीं है?
Yes,
Everybody. Yeah. So that's the only feedback. And for that purposes, I am cutting 1.5 marks. 1 marks because other team members could not, coordinations was missing, and half mark I'm cutting that you would have spoken little better because your presentation was really good. Okay, so this is the improvement. Whatever I'm cutting, team, just understand I'm not cutting. I'm giving an input and an incentive. Ki next one may you score 100. Clear? Let's do that. And just to have clarity, we are bringing this time a complete 2 hour session on debate. So there is a lab which will be a kind of role play. So everyone, after I complete carbon credit, which will be mostly, we will be starting tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we'll be finishing it. Carbon credit once finishes, our rules will be decided and we'll be taking one very interesting project where I want academia. So one person will represent, research fraternity. So whoever is a little bit related to research or PhD or who loves to, who thinks that a study is the good stuff. So he will act as a academia. And why I'm telling you today, so you guys can prepare in next couple of days because it will be happening without any gap most probably. If it is not happening with a gap, you need to prepare it. And also, you guys have to suggest, give me five controversial projects in the country. Everyone find it out one controversial energy related project and put it in the our cohort 10. That this is the interesting topic we should be taking. And whom all will be playing a role? So one guy will be representing the company. For example, if it is an Adani project in Madhya Pradesh, which we did last time. Okay, so if somebody is presenting Adani, he will be CEO of that company. So there is one guy who will be CEO, one guy who will be academia, one guy will be that area, Under Secretary for Environmental Science, means Ministry of Environmental and Forestry and Climate Change. He will be Under Secretary or a representative of MOEF, representing himself as a part of ministry and putting all his points there. So three people done. Fourth one will be environmentalist who wants to support the tribals or who wants to support that locality or who wants to be really keen and conscious about how to protect the environment. And he believes he has a counter view of the company. As simple as that. Clear? So these are four people, four different type of people, and every one type will have three people supporting. And specifically, I will be choosing who will be energy company representative, or based on the controversy. We will have a different kind of controversy, so I will decide who will be who. Okay, we will be deciding that tomorrow. But now your job is to find controversial projects in the country which you can relate with and post it in the group that, sir, I want to discuss about this.
Only for India.
You can take international as well. I won't mind it. But these four people have to play a role. Yeah, like Grunta somebody can become, what is her name? That kiddo who thinks that she is the champion.
Greta.
Greta
Thumper.
Thunberg. Greta
Mm-hmm.
Thunberg, yeah.
Great.
Sorry, mistakenly I took her wrong. But I think she is not doing justice. But yes, somebody wants to become that. Let her pick her job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please don't put me in her role.
Huh?
I don't want to be. I don't want to be Greta. Please don't.
Look, but there is a mass behind her right now. All these Algerians, countries, people, even Sweden people are behind her, and they are going to get, death penalty if she goes and invade that Israeli border currently. They were trying to go there. I don't know on whose agenda she was trying to do. She doesn't understand diplomacy.
So, but
And
that's blind following.
sorry?
That's blind following. People following her
Yeah,
blindly,
yeah, there is a blind following too.
without a core understanding and knowledge. I this is my opinion on her.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Everybody has individual opinion about her. This is my personal opinion that I
as
don't
much
think she's
yeah,
doing
as much
justice.
as I've known her from social media and all the articles, I feel that yes, although her vision or her point is clear, but yes, the core work is yet scattered, not done correctly, and it's
She's
just
trying to.
now she's now face of the climate action and people are following her. But
That's wrong.
do
That
yes,
she's not Gandhiji. That she
yes,
can make use of, did she given 40 years to independence? No. So she cannot be Gandhiji.
no.
Okay. And did she sacrifice anything apart from her studies?
That
Nothing.
that's what I'm saying. That people are just blindly following her, and it's a I think it is a very hyped
No cult. It is a
character.
kind of, it is a
Yes,
cult. Abhipsa doesn't agree with you, but this is a cult everybody knows. She's not there.
Even
We can talk about her in the back of her. We can talk about her. Abhipsa supports her blindly. Yes.
even
No,
the
I never said that. You're taking. But it's the thing is, uh, I will just say this: ki, are there anyone else? Are you
That is.
listening to anyone else?
So the problem with that concept is, okay, so let's Modi ji get out of office and let Rahul Gandhi take the seat. Yeah, that's all
No,
I'm saying, right?
he,
कोई नहीं
either
है
won't work,
मतलब
but Modi is sitting there is
That
still
will
better than Rahul Gandhi
that will
sitting
be
there.
very even more disastrous.
I'm not
That
going
will be even
without
more
going into
disastrous.
politics. I'm just funnily debating with her. Now, problem is putting such people as a face will actually challenge the sustainability itself.
yeah,
Yes,
That's my real problem. If we will make her the face, tomorrow, if something happens to her wrongly, whole system will collapse. Saying that she was wrong, right? गांधी जी ने कुछ मिस्टेक नहीं किया तब भी गाली देने वाले 50% लोग हैं हमारे यहाँ है कि नहीं है अब किया थोड़ा बहुत तो सब करते हैं लाइफ ही है राइट बट यू सी वन मिस्टर पचौरी this is why I always ask this question whenever I do free session as well in a mass that how many of you know that IPCC was led by Indians. And then there was a massive controversy of Me Too movement, specifically. Yes, of course, two, three people are there from that institution in the previous batch we had. Okay. And you won't believe nobody agrees except few people inside they agree. There are some people who agree, yeah, he was a corrupt guy and he did all that bullshit. The insider. But other than that, there is no one who ever said Mr. Pachori was a bad person. And he was carrying the flag. But once that flag was broken, under whichever circumstances, Abhipsa, today we don't have any flag bearer even in that institution, which is built to present India as a non-governmental organization. टेरी की बात कर रहा हूं मैं या कोलैप्स हो गया है पूरा अब जाके देखो उनका वर्जन ऑफ डिबेट्स इन कॉप यू विल फील दैट आर दे स्लीपिंग देयर और व्हाट मतलब मैं उनके अगेंस्ट नहीं हूं बट ओनली फ्यू पीपल आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट सब जगह दो चार लोग होते हैं एंड दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम दैट व्हेन वी डिसाइड टू मेक समबडी फेस ऑफ सर्टेन मूवमेंट वी रिस्क द होल मूवमेंट बिहाइंड देम सो थोड़ा सा केयरफुल रहने की जरूरत है हाउएवर इट इज अ पर्सनल ओपिनियन एवरीबडी हैज a right to have a personal opinion.
agreed with you, sir. Agreed with you. It's not here. We can see it everywhere else also. Taking a person, taking an idea to a person, identifying just making क्या कहते हैं उस लिटरेचर में कुछ आता
बिल्कुल
है
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
मतलब
वो आइडिया
आइडिया को पर्सन नहीं लगाना है द आइडिया इज डिफरेंट
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल that is what Karthik was saying that everybody has opinion and we should agree with everyone and I don't want to influence anyone but my challenge with putting जैसा आप अभी बोल रहे हो कि putting a face to idea maybe idea will be killed yeah and
यस
you should be
यस
worried about it. They should be worried about it as a proponent of it. I never said I am activist here, and I never play activist role. I am a fully commercial purpose person. Yeah, I through my commercial initiatives, I make sure that everybody get benefited. I'm a full proponent of capitalism as well. However, 200 years it never supported us. Yeah, perfect, not a problem. Everyone, take care. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
sir.
much, sir.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Bye. Thank
rating,
you.
एक minute. Rating, let me give the rating. I have already given the rating, right? I've cut your 1.5 marks,
yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, done. Chalo, see you everyone tomorrow. Bye-bye, evening.